Hello, and welcome to the Financial Aid Process video. This video is courtesy of the Indiana Commission for Higher Education and Learn More Indiana, which is a partnership of state and local organizations working to help Hoosiers of all ages complete education and training beyond high school, and the Indiana Youth Institute, a statewide nonprofit that promotes the healthy development of Indiana children and youth by serving the people, institutions, and communities that impact their well-being. This video was developed by the National Center for College Costs, which is an Indiana-based organization that provides innovative programs and products that help students and their parents prepare for higher education. This video will cover the financial aid process. Now, keep in mind that the financial aid process is complicated and varies depending upon what college you go to, what state you live in, etc. However, in this video we'll cover some basics that will give you a good foundation as you start to figure out just how to pay for college, either for yourself or for a child or for a dependent. Financial aid can make a big difference when it comes to what you actually pay to attend college. Whether or not you qualify for need-based aid, aid based upon your financial need, merit-based aid, aid based upon your academics, talents, etc., or both, there are opportunities out there to help you pay for college. So let's explore some of these opportunities. As you view the video, please take time to click pause every now and then on your computer's media player. This will allow you to stop on a particular slide to take notes or to study the information a little bit longer. Once you feel you're comfortable with the content, click play and move forward. Essentially, there are three major types of financial aid. Grants and scholarships, which are free money that don't have to be repaid. Loans, which are borrowed funds that must be repaid, although repayment of student loans is typically deferred until after the student graduates or drops below half-time enrollment. And jobs or work aid, money that must be earned and then applied to college costs, such as the federal work-study funds that you may have heard of. But who provides those three major types of financial aid? Well, they actually come from a few different sources, including four primary ones, which include the federal government, the state of Indiana, if you're an Indiana resident that is, colleges and universities, and private scholarship providers such as foundations, community organizations, employers, etc. So now that we know the three major types and four major sources of financial aid, let's explore them in more depth, starting with financial aid from the federal government. The first step in qualifying for aid from the federal government, and actually for state and most need-based institutional aid as well, involves completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA. This is a free form you complete the spring prior to attending college, and then each year after that while you're still in college. To access the form, you go to www.fafsa.gov, not www.fafsa.com. Boiled down to simplest form, what is the FAFSA process? First off, gather all necessary information in order to expedite the process. Pull together important information that you will need in order to fill out the FAFSA, such as Social Security number, driver's license number, income tax returns, bank statements, and investment records. Next, fill out the FAFSA and submit it before March 10th, which is the filing deadline required by the state of Indiana if you want to be considered for a state grant. The FAFSA should be filed after January 1st every spring in advance of attending college in the fall. Sometimes the colleges have an earlier FAFSA filing deadline than the state does. Be sure you know the FAFSA filing deadline for each college you plan to apply to. Also, it is advised that you list an Indiana college first on the FAFSA if you're an Indiana resident. This helps with the state grant process. Once you submit the FAFSA, the information goes to the U.S. Department of Education, the federal processor, which generates an expected family contribution, or an EFC, which is the total amount of money a student or family is supposedly able to contribute towards college costs in a given academic year according to the federal government's calculation, which is also called the federal methodology. The student must list on the FAFSA all the colleges she or he may want to attend. The federal processor will then send this information to the state grant agency, so the state of Indiana, and to the colleges listed so they can begin to put together a financial aid award letter, which they'll mail out to you. Some of the most common types of federal financial aid include Pell Grants. This is a need-based grant given to undergraduates and is based on the student's expected family contribution. Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grants. These are federal need-based grants, but are awarded by the institution. They're typically reserved for the students who demonstrate the most need. Federal loans. The Perkins Loan. This is a low-interest loan awarded by the institution to students who have demonstrated financial need. Direct subsidized student loans, which are loans awarded on the basis of financial need. The government pays the interest while the student is in school at least half-time. Direct unsubsidized student loans. These are loans awarded without regard to financial need, and the student is charged interest from the time the loan is disbursed until it is paid in full, including in-school, grace, and deferment periods. PLUS loans for parents. These are loans available to parents who are creditworthy. Annual borrowing limit equals the student's cost of attendance minus any other financial aid received. Federal Work Study. This is a campus-based part-time employment program which provides jobs for students who show financial need. For more details and information on the programs listed above, or for information on the many other types of federal financial aid opportunities, visit www.studentaid.ed.gov. Again, remember that you won't qualify for any of these federal financial aid opportunities if you don't first file the FAFSA. Also, it is important to file even if you think you won't qualify for any federal assistance. Just like with the federal financial aid opportunities, the first step in receiving state financial aid is filing the FAFSA at www.fafsa.gov and filing it before Indiana's March 10th deadline. Indiana has a few different grant programs outlined here. The Frank-O'Bannon Grant Program. This program is designed to provide access for Hoosier students to attend eligible post-secondary institutions. The amount you receive from this program, if you qualify, is based upon a few factors, including your need, as determined by your EFC, the type of institution you are attending, public, private, or for-profit, and the amount of credit hours you are enrolled in. Full-time is defined as being enrolled in 12 or more credit hours per semester, and on-time, which is preferred, is defined as being enrolled in 15 or more credit hours per semester. For more information, check out our other video that specifically covers the Frank-O'Bannon Grant Program. Another Indiana grant program is the 21st Century Scholarship. Indiana's 21st Century Scholars is a needs and performance-based program that provides students the opportunity to earn up to a 4-year tuition and mandatory fee scholarship at an Indiana public university. It also provides tuition assistance at Indiana private colleges and universities. Hoosier students who meet income criteria can enroll during their 7th or 8th grade year of middle school. Students commit to maintaining academic success, remaining drug and alcohol free, and completing college preparation activities. Scholars are provided resources and assistance to help them plan and prepare for college and pay for expenses not covered by their scholarship. Their website is shown on the slide. Other Indiana scholarships and grants include the Mitch Daniels Early Graduation Scholarship, the Nursing Scholarship, Minority Teacher and Special Education Scholarship, the National Guard Supplemental Grant, the Child of Veteran and Public Safety Office Supplemental Grant Program, and the Summer State Work Program. For more details and information on the programs listed above, or to learn about other financial aid opportunities from Indiana Division of Student Financial Aid, visit their website, as shown on the screen. The availability and amount of need-based grants and merit-based scholarships will vary widely among colleges and universities. The criteria used in determining such awards will also vary from one institution to the next. It is very important you research what each college's institutional aid requirements are once you have found some colleges that interest you. Also, many people get what's called sticker shock. That is, when a student or parent sees how much the total cost of attendance is at a college or university, they get shocked. However, don't let that sticker shock make you stop considering a particular college. For instance, Sometimes a private college with a very high cost of attendance can actually cost less to attend than a public college with a lower cost of attendance. How is that so? Well, sometimes private colleges can afford to contribute more institutional financial aid in the form of grants and scholarships, which can sometimes dramatically lower the amount the student actually ends up paying to attend. So let's look at a few examples. Jenny, pictured on the slide, has 3 colleges she is considering. 2 are public schools because of price, and 1 is a private school. Here are the costs of each college. Where would you encourage her to go by just looking at the sticker price, A, B, or C? Most students would look at the one that is the cheapest, so of course they would choose A. However, let's dig a little deeper. Let's look at what scholarships each school will give Jenny. As you look at this graphic, be sure you notice the key. The S stands for scholarship, the G stands for federal and state grants, and the L stands for loans. Now that you see all 3 on the screen, what college would you encourage Jenny to go to? Now would be a good time to pause if you need to study this for a minute. I hope you chose College C. Why? They're giving Jenny $31,000 of scholarships, so she will only have to take out $2,000 of loans. In the scenario with College A, she would have to take out much more loan debt. So in this scenario, going to the private school would be the better financial decision, even though it had a much higher sticker price. Now, this isn't always the case. This depends on the college you apply to, your test scores, strength of your schedule of classes, and high school grades, etc. However, if you think a private college would be a better option for you, definitely start talking with the school to see if it would be an option for you financially. Now, we also don't want you to discount a public school just because it's public. Some students only look at private schools, and sometimes a public school might be a better option for some students. So let's look at how affordable a school like Ivy Tech is for Lee in the next slide. Lee is keeping his options open. He applied to a private school, a large public school, and then also to a community college, Ivy Tech. Because he's a strong student, he was accepted to all 3 schools. Now he has to decide what is the best option for him financially, because he doesn't want to be saddled with a lot of loan debt once he graduates from college. For sake of demonstration, we again have rounded the numbers to help keep it simple. In this scenario, which college would you think is the best choice financially? Did you choose Ivy Tech? I thought you would. So let's see how the financial aid plays out for Lee, and then reevaluate. Remember what happened on the last slide, though. Remember that as you look at this graphic, be sure you notice the key on the left. The S stands for scholarship, the G stands for federal or state grants, and the L stands for loans. If you need to pause and study for a minute, go right ahead. In this case, the opposite came true in the end. In this scenario, the private college would saddle Lee with $14,000 of loans each year. At Ivy Tech, Lee would actually have more money left over and would have no loan debt. That extra money could be used for transportation, housing, books, supplies, etc. Just the help alone from the federal and state government equaled more than what the tuition actually cost to go to Ivy Tech. So what are some of the takeaways from Lee and Jenny's experiences? As we saw in Jenny and Lee's scenarios, don't just discount a college because of sticker price. Many students automatically say they won't even apply to private colleges because their cost of attendance is intimidating. However, as you saw in Jenny's scenario, sometimes those colleges will offer students much more help financially, so it is actually cheaper in the long run to attend a private college. However, that's not always the case. You saw in Lee's scenario that he could get the same degree at Ivy Tech and have no loan debt whatsoever. If he would have pursued this same degree at the pricey private school, he would have built a substantial pile of loan debt. A great way to learn whether or not you can afford to attend school would be to talk to the financial aid office at the college. Ask them what types of financial aid you could expect to receive as a student, how much loan debt you should expect to incur, and what other scholarships they might have that you can apply for. Do this early in the college search process so you can help narrow down your options. Also, as you saw in both options, don't forget about how much federal and state grants can assist you. To learn more about the Indiana State Grant, watch our video in our series that goes into more depth about the Indiana State Grant program. Also, I have to mention how important it is to maintain a relationship with the school's financial aid office once you've been accepted and have enrolled into a college. Financial aid is not a one-time thing. You have to maintain good grades, take enough credit hours, like we said, we encourage you to take 15 or more, and file the FAFSA every year to keep your financial aid. It is good to make regular appointments with the financial aid office to be sure all of your bills are paid. If you experience troubles while in colleges and are concerned you won't be able to pay the bill, definitely contact the financial aid office immediately so they can help you. So now you have looked at aid from the federal government, the state of Indiana, and colleges and universities. There is one last primary source of financial aid, and that is from private scholarship providers. Here are a few examples on the screen. I won't cover each of these individually, so please hit pause to view this complete list at your own pace. As you are viewing this list, though, I do want to mention one thing. Concerning scholarships from the private sector and from local communities, it is a good idea to check with the high school guidance office. They can provide you with a list of available scholarship opportunities and can often let you know what scholarships have been awarded to prior students from the area. The internet also has a few scholarship search sources. Two of the most popular sites include fastweb.com and scholarsite.com. To tie it all together, here is a timeline that can help you better understand the financial aid process throughout high school. Feel free to pause the video if you want to take more time to read this slide. Note, many of these steps do not have to be followed in the exact order that we have placed them, except for those that have specific dates, of course. However, we have tried to give you a good idea as to how you might map out planning during high school. First off, freshman and sophomore years. One of the most important steps you can take in your freshman and sophomore years is to build a strong relationship with your high school guidance counselor and to begin talking about your plans or goals. Also, it is very important to be sure you stay active in extracurricular activities and to maintain good grades. If you want to see a web or PDF version of this timeline, it is located at www.indianacollegecosts.org, and that link is shown on the slide. Next, let's look at the junior year. We won't be able to cover all the bullets here, so click pause if you want to spend some time looking at this. I'll cover a few though, such as, again, study hard, get good grades, and maintain a relationship with your guidance counselor. Next, you want to take the SAT or ACT and take them more than once. Also, you want to take this time to explore different colleges. Use summer break, spring break, long weekends, etc. to explore the campuses. You can also explore schools by going to their websites and also by going to the Indiana College Cost Estimator. Lastly, senior year. Again, we won't cover each bullet, so please click pause or go to www.indianacollegecosts.org if you want to study this in more depth. However, a few important takeaways from the senior list are: narrow down your college options and begin applying. Be sure you know all of your application deadlines. Continue your search for scholarships. File the FAFSA at www.fafsa.gov and be sure to file it before Indiana March 10th deadline. Decide what college you want to attend and attend an on-campus orientation and registration session. To finish off the video, here are a few final reminders as you think about financial aid. First and foremost, start early. Don't start thinking about financial aid your senior year of high school, for those who are still in high school. Plan ahead. Research your options, get involved in community organizations or extracurricular activities, take more rigorous classes if you can, and stay on top of all of your federal, state, and institutional deadlines. Next, file the FAFSA at www.fafsa.gov, not fafsa.com. You also need to be sure you file it by Indiana's March 10th deadline, even if you plan to take a year off before starting. This is really important for 21st century scholars. If you're a 21st century scholar, the FAFSA has to be completed if you want to keep your scholarship. Research all of the different financial aid opportunities available at the federal, state, institutional, and private or community-based levels. Also, be sure to check out our other video that talks specifically about financial aid for Indiana residents. Remember, you don't have to pay to receive financial aid. If you are asked to pay a fee for a scholarship or to pay a fee to file the FAFSA, you should be concerned. The only organization you should be paying is the college or university you are attending. If you're asked to pay for anything, please contact the National Center for College Costs immediately to see if there is another, more reliable, free alternative. Take advantage of college fairs and FAFSA days that go on all around the state. There are many dedicated individuals who are here to help you understand the process and access resources. Never hesitate to reach out to the college or university's financial aid office, even if you haven't even been accepted yet. They have financial aid professionals who can assist you with your questions or concerns. If you're in the military or are a veteran, contact your county Veteran Services representatives, as they will have the most current information on benefits for you. To learn more about everything mentioned above, go to www.indianacollegecosts.org and explore all of the content and fill out an Indiana College Costs Estimator, which is an estimate that will help you begin to understand what Indiana residents might qualify for in federal, state, and institutional aid at many of our Indiana colleges or universities. And lastly, you can always contact the National Center for College Costs for free on our toll-free hotline at 877-687-7291. With that, we have concluded the financial aid process overview. Please come back and watch this video again, or feel free to share it with others.